Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel where I talk about movies. And today I'd like to finish up a three-film miniseries, movies that starred Nicole Kidman. I started off with The Portrait of a Lady, continuing on with The Others, and today I'm going to talk about Stoker, a film from 2013, directed by Park Chan-Wook, and starring Nicole Kidman, Mia Wasikowska. I'm going to struggle over her name. I have it written down in front of me phonetically, so hopefully I'll do okay. And then Matthew Good, also in this cast. Now, I realized that I could have chosen some far more prominent Nicole Kidman movies than these three I've chosen. They were just the three I really wanted to see for various reasons. So certainly, like To Die For, which was the film before Portrait of Lady Death, where she really became a big movie star. Moulin Rouge, I could have chosen. I could have chosen The Hours, where she wins her Academy Award. And I got a comment in my last video where in which Birth was recommended, and I have seen Birth, and I liked it a lot. It's a very strange film. So if I do another miniseries next year on Kidman, three more films, I'm certainly going to include Birth, because I also finished this David Thompson's very unusual biography of Kidman, and really a meditation of what it means to be a movie star in the new millennium. And he said in his research on Kidman's career, the book goes up to, like, I think 2005, 2006, so it doesn't cover Stoker, but he does say that after multiple viewings, he believes that Kidman's best work is in the film Birth. Well, let's get back to Stoker, which is a three-character thriller. These three stars right here are pretty much it, and it's about a death, and Evie plays the mother of India. Their last name is Stoker, and the father, India's father, dies. We're at the funeral, we're at the wake, and a surprise guest comes in the form of Uncle Charlie, and this is India's uncle. She has never heard that she had an uncle, and in fact, Evie, the mother, had heard of him but had never met him. So he's basically arriving out of the blue, and India is very much intrigued with him, and Evie is very much attracted to him. It is certainly implied as well that this marriage was a disappointment to Evie, because her husband was far more interested in his daughter than in herself, and they were always spending time. They were hunting, and they would go out hunting together, India and her father. So we set up this mysterious character who comes out of the blue, but there is a servant and an aunt also at the wake, and they know who he is. They know who Uncle Charlie is, and they are very much alarmed when they see him at the wake, and it's implied that they want to warn Evie and India about Uncle Charlie, but they disappear. So it's basically these characters sort of floating around, almost ghost-like in this mansion, because we do have another mansion. So it's very, in this respect, it's very similar to The Others, in that we have characters roaming around an enclosed space, a very much a big mansion type space home, and it develops an atmosphere, an eerie, suspenseful atmosphere. And if you've ever seen a Park Chan-Wook film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because it does have very much of a gothic element to it. And in fact, if you have seen The Handmaiden, which I think was Park Chan-Wook's next feature film, which he made back in Korea, in which he adopted a novel from Sarah Waters. I think it was Fingersmith, a great novel. Really recommend Fingersmith. Which was set in the 1800s, a novel that very much was Gothic. And even though Park Chan-Wook changed he changed it to Asia, and he changed, I think it was the 1930s. Very, very Gothic. This too has that Gothic atmosphere. All the kind of small touches that you're going to always discover in a Park Chan-Wook film, you're going to see here. And he uses insects. There's a motif with very creepy-looking spiders and eggs and birds' eggs and shooting birds, and there's such a richness, a visual richness, and every shot, there's something to look at. It's so inventive and so intensely directed with a comic overtone. That's the great thing about Park Chan-Wook. Even in his Vengeance trilogy, which he's probably most famous for, popular for, made 3 movies. Old Boy was one of them, Lady Vengeance, and Sympathy, I think, for Miss Lady Vengeance, something like that. Very ultra-violent movies, so the ultra-violence part of it is certainly part of the appeal of those films. But even in the violence, it's just so funny. This comic world view that is both violent and comic. And you get that here as well, although this is a much more quieter film, but with explosions of violence. You can read, and another touch that I really liked, and this we learned in the featurette that accompanies it, is the shoes that India wears, saddle shoes, which you don't see much of anymore. And she was getting saddle shoes on her birthday every year. They would be bigger and bigger so they would fit. And there's some great shots with these saddle shoes. And then as far as the coming of age, now instead of a saddle shoe, she has high heels as her birthday gift. And I mean, every shot you can find something in a Park Chan-Wook film. The screenplay was by Wentworth Miller, and he was an actor. He's primarily an actor. This was his first script, at least the first to get produced, and he has only one other script that he wrote that has been produced. It's a terrific script. It's got some great dialogue in it. This is Park's first English language film, and he, working with, he did have some of his own technical crew from Korea, but he was working with the English language cast, so there was communication problems, but you would never know that from, the dialogue readings are just superb here. And it is very much a story of good versus evil, and there are so many Hitchcock touches here. In all Park Chan-Wook films, it's if not primarily, it's somewhat, a referencing to Hitchcock, his cinematic language. And I don't, I said in one of my previous videos, I'm not real fond of making films where every shot is based on an old movie, but I too am an Hitchcock fan. And there's something really comical about the way he uses all these shots, because some of them are very, almost everybody who's seen some of Hitchcock's famous films will notice these sort of nods. It's about good versus evil, but really it's about evil. It's not really, and with the Uncle Charlie, where we are introduced to the character Matthew Good plays as Uncle Charlie. Well, of course, we immediately, as Hitchcockians immediately, and even filmgoers in general, of Shadow of a Doubt, in which we have Uncle Charlie played by Joseph Cotten, and we have his niece played by Teresa Wright. Her nickname is, in fact, Charlie, and they have a very close relationship. So here we do have in Shadow of a Doubt, Hitchcock had evil. Evil was one of his prime themes of his films, but Hitchcock, being a good Catholic, also has the concept of good. Now, I can't say that Park Chan-Wook's films, there's much exploration of good, but there certainly is an exploration of evil and of Hitchcock's movies, because as part of the references to Hitchcock, I mean, there's many. Bates Motel is evoked. Norman Bates, in fact, there's a couple of shots, I think, that are referencing shots of Anthony Perkins in Psycho. Also from Psycho, a woman is stopped on the road. The cop comes and leans down and wearing sunglasses, and then takes the sunglasses down. The phone booth from The Birds, for sure. Let's get to the performances, because this is a mini-series about Nicole Kidman, who is a supporting player here. She is not, she has a crucial role, and believe me, she has some great scenes, I think, here with Mia Wasikowska. And this is Mia's film. I mean, this is her, she is the star of this film. And our relationship to her changes throughout the movie. We really can't read her well. And Matthew Good also playing a part of evil that does have a seductive quality to it as well. So this is a film that I don't think did very well. I didn't do a whole lot of research because I didn't want to read any reviews, but I did come across a few that highly praised the movie. I was really, even being a Park Chan-Wook, I shouldn't be, but I was really surprised by how this film just drew me in from the first scene. Now, narratively, yeah, you can find, well, this doesn't make sense or this doesn't make sense, but it's all covered over by the rich direction by Park Chan-Wook, and it's so visually atmospheric. I think it surprised me. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. There's a featurette included in this. That's the only extra in this release, this Blu-ray release of Stoker. That looks really nice in Blu-ray. The visual colors are the colors and you see it when you see the featurette. It's a really good featurette, behind the scenes making of, but how they designed the house. Now, the house was found in Nashville, where Nicole Kidman coincidentally was living at the time, and Park Chan-Wook had wanted like a castle. He wanted something twice as big as what they finally decided on, but that was kind of hard to find in Nashville. So they brought him to this mansion. He loved the surroundings, the park surrounding the mansion. It was empty and had this beautiful staircase. So we're again reminded of all the staircases in Hitchcock, Notorious and Psycho and many others. And he loved it, and it's a beautiful design. Of course, lots of directors love to film staircases, but they filmed all the interiors in the house itself, which I always love because it does add authenticity. It was empty, so they could do a design, but you get that natural light coming in through the windows because you are in an actual location. And it was great seeing Park Chan-Wook at work. Nicole Kidman and Mia Wasikowska were both big fans of the director, and Nicole Kidman, even though she's got a small role, she wanted this. She wanted to work with Park Chan-Wook. As Mia Wasikowska, as soon as she saw that he was going to direct it, said, "Yeah, I'm doing this." But there was a translation. He doesn't speak English, although everybody believed that wasn't true. That he did speak English, but he wanted to communicate in his own language. So his longtime co-producer, who you see in every shot right next to him, he's communicating. Nicole Kidman said, "I had it instantaneous," as she often says about directors she likes to work with. You have an instantaneous connection, with just looking in each other's eyes. You understand the conception of each and every shot. So, again, a Park Chan-Wook film that I bypassed. There's only a couple more of his films I think that I haven't seen. If I'm doing miniseries of Nicole Kidman next year, you can count on doing that. I'll do a miniseries on Park Chan-Wook as well. Okay, thanks a lot for everybody who managed to listen. They do appreciate it. Comments are welcome. Take care.